All right.
Live now.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing today? Today the topic is for for the day is why are cops mean? I'm asking because I don't know if the cops. I mean, to you guys, so far cops never be mean to me. You know, I just want you guys how if the cops treat you nice, mean, bully, or what?
Well, what me to give you my idea is maybe.
Yes.
So, what I think, Gregory, is that it depends on the person. I think you can't say that all cops are mean,
Always.
and
Yes.
just like anybody can't say, all this group is this way and all this group is that way. Even though there are a lot of situations where cops don't seem to um intervene when it comes to other bad cops. um there seems to be, to me, it's personality. If you're a good person when you're not a cop, your chances are you might have a better chance of being a good person if you are a cop. But you know I think just being a cop attracts a certain kind of mentality where, um, certain types, personality types are attracted to that job, and maybe that's part of it. I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think cops could be mean to people?
To me, it's maybe because two things. It could be the family background. There could be a KKK family, past the generation, the past from a past from a generation to generation. You know what I'm talking
Right,
about. And
right.
or it could be the training. The police could hire a third party. You know.
Yeah. Well, one thing about the training part of it, I think, you can train all kinds of things to people. You know what I mean? But I don't think, the big part of it is a personality of a person. Like, what are they as a person? Because you can train a lot of things, but you can't train somebody's personality. It's just going to be how it is. And I think that some people are more. Now, I will tell you that when you're in a stressful situation all the time, 24/7, depending on where you're a cop,
Mm-hmm.
I think that plays into it. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
stressful job. There's no denying that. I don't think you can deny that being a cop is not a stressful job. I think it is. And just like a firefighter is very stressful. I've been in similar. I was never a cop, but I was a soldier. And I know what stresses that comes along with that kind of thing. And sometimes it does change your, the way you interact with other people. You know what I mean? Just because of certain things that happen to you from a day to day situation. I mean, you never know. You could be interacting with a cop who just dealt with a child that was hurt really, really bad, because of a bad person doing something to that child. And now all of a sudden you approach that cop 15 minutes later, and you might get a different reaction from that cop versus how he would have acted otherwise. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making excuses for bad behavior. I'm just saying that, there are some reasons why people act the way they do, just like we do, just like anybody else does. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of it. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my idea about it. I mean, but I don't think all cops are bad, and I don't think all cops are good, and I don't think, you can say that about any group of people.
Two.
I don't know, just giving my opinion. That's all, and for what it's worth, which isn't worth much. It's just worth the words, the air that's coming out of my mouth. I just um I just think that cops should do a better job at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
when you're a person who puts on a uniform like that, I'll give you an idea. When I was in the army, I'm the same person as I was back then as far as the way I think and everything, right? But when I put on that uniform, I knew that people looked at me differently. Without my uniform on, nobody would, I mean, except for my haircut and maybe that I was in good shape. But other than that, you wouldn't know that I was a soldier right off the bat, I don't think. I mean, some people have a good eye for it, but you wouldn't know. So as soon as you put on that uniform, people expect something different out of you. You should act and a little differently, be a little bit more professional in the way you carry yourself. You can't allow your emotions to get away from you as quickly as you would if you were a regular just civilian. And I think that's part of what a cop has to struggle with is their personal feelings versus um their professional duties. And I think the two it's hard. You're a person. I mean, everybody's a human, and everybody makes mistakes, and everybody has anger, and everybody has sadness, and everybody has all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And cops are no different, I don't think, but they do have to do a better job at what they do, and there has to be more accountability, especially from their fellow police officers. That's the only way they're really going to change, is if their fellow police officers hold them accountable. You know what I mean? He emailed it to us. Hey, honey, I don't know if he emailed one to you or not.
Oh, hold on. Let me email to back let's see father. Hold on. I
Yeah,
forgot to email him. Tell him
yeah.
give me 1 minute.
I always enjoyed talking to Black National Freedom Fighter. We've had our differences before, but I don't mind. I don't mind having a discussion. No, I'm not a bootlicker national freedom fighter. I'm just trying to say that I think that people should be allowed to be human, but I don't think that there's ever an excuse for brutalizing somebody just because you can. And I don't think there's ever an excuse for a lot of the things that the police officers ever do to people. I hate what I see cops do to people a lot. But I think people are people, and people are going to act like people and do the things people do, whether you have a uniform on or not.
What do you think on about back as your father? What do you think on about cops? I mean, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think? Some cops are good, some cops are bad, or both are good or bad.
I think your question should be, at least in my opinion, should be, why are some cops mean? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's what. Yes,
But
yes.
of course that's fine. But I'm just saying,
Okay, let me. Yeah, the topic is today. Why are some cops? I mean,
yeah, because I don't know if you can paint with that. Well, yeah, I mean, you can have that opinion, National
yeah,
Freedom
because
Fighter,
that's because some people think every cop is a bad. Some people think it's
right?
not.
And
And
there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. You have an opinion, and that's your opinion.
because I think it depends what race you are.
Yeah, it might. I mean,
That's why 55
I have
percent.
never, I have never been a black man, so I've never walked in those shoes. So I can't tell you from that perspective of what
Because I've
life is like.
seen news and I've seen a lot of articles. Cops get after um 58% black and
Right.
Mexicans. That's I seen in the news and in the article, but I don't know. It's true or not, So
Right.
it could be anyways. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
telling everybody feel comfortable. That's what I seen in the news. The most towards like um
Well, all you
black
gotta do is watch
people
an episode
and
of
Mexican
Cops, and you'll
people.
see that.
You know.
Yeah. No, I'm not denying that at all. I think that's absolutely true. Racism exists in our country big time.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it personally in my own family. My own family's mixed, and I've seen it firsthand. There's no denying it. And to walk a mile I've never done that before. I don't know what it's like to be a person that's other than white, because that's who I am. I was born white. I don't know any other way. I've never experienced another way, as far as my life. So I can't say that my experience would be uh, my experience I know would be different if I were something other than white. you know, I know that to be true. So yeah, everybody has a perspective built on where they're from, who
Mm-hmm.
they are, how they were born. Everybody has different experiences, and that's what creates your point of view. I mean, everybody has different experiences, but I mean, and even sometimes bad can do good. And what I mean by that is even somebody that's deemed to be a bad person can still do something good. Like, for instance, you see a guy that you would call a bad cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, that bad cop can turn around and save a baby's life that's choking. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to take the good out of the bad just to see some good in something. I don't know. I don't know what I mean by that exactly, but I don't think. I think that even bad can do good sometimes, depending on not bad doing a bad thing, but even somebody who did something bad can do something good. You know, whether it erases the bad thing, I doubt it. I wouldn't say that it does. I'm just saying that, um, you know, I mean, we've all done bad things, and we've all done good things. Law and order. We're doing well. I think. I think we're doing okay. At least I hope we are.
You know, I was live yesterday on X's Geo, and he was in jail, and cops are beating him up, beat
Yeah.
down.
See, I don't go for that. That you should.
I didn't
Cops
even
should
know
not do
that,
that.
and that's made me so sad. You know,
Right. Right. No, that's terrible.
a beat down.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's not their job. That's not what they're supposed to do.
I know,
Uh, no,
I know.
a cop is not the punishment side of the law, the legal system.
They're supposed to help you.
They're supposed to basically arrest you and transport you to get whatever justice, if you want to call it that, is due you. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a self defense situation, that's one thing. But if you're just beating somebody up that's helpless, that's cuffed to a chair or cuffed behind their back or whatever like that, it's ridiculous. That should never happen. You know, and that's right, Inferno. PTSD is a thing, man, and I get that too. I suffer from that myself, and it can change the PTSD can change the chemistry of your brain pretty much, and completely change you as a person. And what you normally would do outside of being symptomatic is a lot of times completely different than who you normally would be before that. You know. But then again, people can say that's just an excuse, which it is. It is an excuse.
Too. Hey, Pregnancy Friday, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Gregory.
Hey, you got home safe on the bus?
Yep,
That's
That's
good.
good to hear. It's always good to hear that you're safe.
sure did. They I guess they were doing a raid or something, so that's why I started recording. Since all the cops are good cops.
Oh no, I don't believe all cops are good cops. Not at all.
Hey,
Maybe
Susie. Oh, wait, I'm
I
in the
think they're
wrong
more. I
screen.
think a good cop's more the exception to the rule than the rule. It's rare, like a golden egg would be rare. A good cop is a golden egg, in my opinion. It's very rare. You very seldom see one, at least in my experience.
Oh, All I know is all cops are bastards. I don't trust them. I don't like them, and it's been known that I don't like them, and I can give two shits about them or their sympathizers or whatever
Yeah,
they call them.
most people hate cops 100%. Like people, most people like cops 50-50, you know?
It's
It
all
depends
based
what
on
the cops
it's all based on your
do.
perspective, you know.
Hmm?
This ain't my perspective. My perception. It's just what I've seen.
Well, that's what I mean.
When
That's your
when
perspective.
when
That's
when the cop when the cop puts his knee on a man's neck for 8 or 9 or 12 minutes,
right.
whatever how many minutes it was, and don't let up.
Oh yeah, every one of those
And
cops were
but
murderers.
we got good cops around. Where was a
Not in
good
that
cop?
not
Where
in
was
that
all lives
situation.
matter then?
Not in that situation. No, there were no good cops in that situation.
and killing somebody for selling loose cigarettes. I mean, come on, or killing somebody unarmed. We can go on and on. I can this case list after case after case after case.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
from
I'm not disagreeing
people,
with that. I think
they,
yeah,
they personally, I think they're a bunch of thugs, a bunch of nobodies,
whose
a
dog has got to
blemish
go
on my
pee?
shoe. That's what they are.
Somebody's dog has got to go pee. I think. Gregory's your dog got to go pee.
Now,
I
What do
know
you
that
want?
whine anywhere.
yeah, does anyone in the chat have experienced bad cops or good cops? Just asking,
I have, I have.
Oh, yeah, I
If
know
you
you
take,
want, I know.
if you take a look at my very first video,
Yeah, I seen the
then
first
you would
video.
know. Then you would know, and that's why I hate them. I don't like them. I wish they were all dead, personally. But hey, cut it out.
Good point. Um, cops are held to a high standard there, should not let their feelings for someone else shown on others. That's good point.
Right. Should not. But the
Yep.
thing is like I said before, I mean, you know, everybody's a human, whether you're a cop or you're not a cop. I mean, they should. Yeah, absolutely. They should. But there are times in everybody's life, no matter what uniform you have on or what you do for a living or who you are or who you pretend to be, you're capable of making stupid mistakes or not even stupid mistakes. You're capable of making stupid on purposes where you do things on purpose that are still stupid, that are not mistakes, which cops do all the time. I see it all the time. I've seen cops slam a high school student's face into the concrete. Would he have done that if that person was white? I don't think he would have, but I think he did it because he thought that it would be overlooked because the kid was black. You know, yeah, I've seen stuff like that. You know, it's just crazy to me to see a lot of things that cops um do, but I'm not willing to call uh any group at all of any people all bad. There has to be good in every sort of group. Now I don't know if you can call a Nazi good. I guess you can't say that some
Mhm.
Nazis are good, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can't. I
Oh,
guess you can't say
really,
that.
really.
So I guess maybe when it
Well,
comes to things like that, I guess it depends on the group. I guess, right?
oh shit. What do you want? Excuse me, Greg.
Okay.
I think doggy has to pee pee.
I wonder if Mitch have experience with cops. You ever You have experience with cops
Oh, Mitch has never had any experience with cops. What do you call it? Mitch has done never been arrested or anything. He's nah, Mitch. What are you talking about?
Let him ask the question. Do you have any good cops, Mitch? Yes or no? That's the topic today. That's true. Lawrence said, I seen both, and I can't say cops are only good when nobody questions them. Good point. But people is afraid to question them. Sometimes though.
Well,
People are
yeah,
afraid.
because some
You
people,
don't know
a
what the
lot
cop
of
gonna do to you.
right,
They,
you're
they're
right.
gonna beat you up, they're gonna give you a ticket.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I saw a guy one time. I can't remember the situation exactly, but there was a guy sitting in the middle of the street that was having a mental breakdown, and the cop wanted him just to get up, but he wasn't getting up, and his friend was out there telling the cop, hey, he's got a mental problem, just let me work with him a little bit, and I'll get him up. And the cop ended up, I can't remember the details, but the cop ended up shooting the guy in the middle of the street because he wouldn't get up. I mean, you got that kind of thing.
That's the cop should listen to the friend. Okay, I will I will listen for a while.
Right, but there's things like that. And I've talked about my experience. I've only had one that I can really say was a terrible interaction with a cop, and I wouldn't say it was 100% terrible, but it was because I had a celebrity in my family, which I still do, and we were going over to see that celebrity of a celebrity
Okay, John.
athlete, and the cop thought that we were trying to act like we were privileged to go over there and say goodbye to them because we were leaving. And the cop came up behind us and slapped me and my brother both in the back of the neck, and forcefully guided us away
Wow.
from our family member.
Hmm.
And that was before I ever even got involved in like the 1A stuff or anything. Had I known then what I know now, it would have been a different story. I can guarantee you that. The way that cop berated my brother, who was the father of this celebrity athlete, um, is was pitiful to say the least. The cops stood around my brother talking about how much of a privileged person he thought he was, and how he must have been a horrible parent. Well, your son doesn't end up being a pro athlete like this guy did at that level with bad parenting. And this kid also graduated high school early and went to college early and got 2 bachelor's degrees while playing a full-time sport in college. So couldn't have been all that bad parenting. But this cop was a jackass, and had I known what I know now, it would have been a total different story. And that cop, yes, that cop, in my opinion, was a bad fucking cop. He should have been punished for what he did. And it wasn't like there was a barrier between us and the people that were out there. It was at a practice, is what it was. They were practicing before a big game, and we were out there just hanging out. We were actually hanging out with the head coach. The head coach, some of you guys may know Bobby Bowden. Me and my brother were hanging out with Bobby Bowden and stuff, and having a conversation, and then we were going out. This was a college football team at the time, and but my nephew ended up going into the pros, and that cop treated us like shit because we just wanted to say goodbye. Hey, we'll see you at the game. And that cop wasn't having any of it. Yeah. Had I known then, but I know now, though, that cop would have gotten a lot more than he bargained for. But at the time, I was just, I didn't know what to say.
Hey, Cliff.
And that was back in my bootlicking days. But yeah,
Hey,
but I
Adrian,
don't know.
does the cop always be mean to you or no, AJ?
I would love to see if anybody in chat, like, maybe if you put a 1 in chat, like, do you think all cops are bad? Or maybe
Or
a 2
two?
if you think if they're not all bad, and some might be good. What I mean by some, maybe there's one in the world. Maybe there's one. you know, if they're all bad, a 1. If some of them are good, a 2. You know. I mean, some of you may even have cops in your own family. You know, you may know them in a different way than most people do. You know,
I like old Mitch 1 and 2. I like that.
Inferno says 3, whatever that means. 2.5, 1.5.
One. That's good. Old Mitch says 1.5, 1 and 2.
So, so,
Right.
so, let me ask this then. Since everybody's on this cop, back to blue line until it happens to you. Um, so you back to blue, Gregory?
Oh, yes and no. I have
Yes, no.
cops nice to me, but bad cops, I don't know.
See, I think believe Gregory is like me.
And
I don't believe that all cops are bad. Some could be good.
Hmm?
I'm not saying that there's evidence out there that point either way.
I
I'm
never
just
had
saying
bad
that
cops before, but this is father. I don't.
in his
I've
in his experience.
Yeah, I have cops that's nice to me. Bad, no.
so you think that just because you never had a bad,
Yes, that's I think cops are good. That's my opinion. I don't know. I don't know everybody's opinion. Everybody's opinion is different.
okay, well, hey,
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I mean,
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I know.
obviously,
That's a good question.
obviously,
That's a
I'm
very good
I'm
question.
I'm outvoted here, 2-1. So, but I'm just asking because, like, for me, personally, I think all cops are fucking pigs, and you know, I don't like them, or I don't like their sympathize.
Have you ever had a good interaction with a cop ever, Black National Freedom Fighter?
Have I what?
Ever had a positive experience with any cop ever?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
And you know why? Because I stay away from them. I'm allergic to bacon.
Right. Right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, Molina.
And well, I don't even go near them. I don't even want to be near them. I don't like them. Never have, never will. And
Let
if
me
you
play
run,
devil's advocate for you for a second, if you don't mind. I know. We've had these kind of discussions before, but like, okay, let's just give a scenario out there. So you have a building that's on fire that's nobody's responded yet, and a cop notices it, gets out of his vehicle, he goes into the fire, grabs 2 kids that would have otherwise been burned up alive, and brings them out of the fire. But the cop ends up dying because of smoke inhalation or because of his injuries. Would that cop be a good cop or a bad cop?
that cop would be, I don't give a fuck about him.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Even if he did something like that?
Even if I don't care if he went in and saved my grandmother,
Okay.
fuck him. And I really truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Fuck him sincerely.
Okay, and why would that be? That's what you have to have a reason why that
No,
would be.
I have lots of reasons why I don't like.
No, I'm saying why
Okay,
in that scenario, why would it be fuck him and so
I
on and so
don't
forth?
answer questions.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. I'm just trying to have a discussion, that's all. I'm just having a discussion.
Yeah, some people doesn't have to discuss it, and some people do. I never have experience bad cops. I can say it, you know. I see, I see the news cops beat up people. To me, that's sad, you know.
Yeah, I think it should it's
Well,
I
you
think
can
it's a
say I have hate. You can say I have hate. You can say I have love or whatever. I don't back the blue until it happens to me. I just
actually
don't.
law and order the
Y'all can keep backing the blue until it happens to you, or you know
Mhm.
it's until it happens to you or somebody in your family, then you're gonna go, okay, now I
Good
see
point.
why. But keep having your head in the sand. That's okay. Keep having your head in the sand
I don't
and,
think you
and
I don't
allow
think
the
you're
cops to keep doing what they're doing.
I yeah, I'm worried about the doggy too. um
Just look at his first video.
well, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. What was I gonna say? But no, I gotta read your comment again. Okay, yeah, rewarded for doing their job. So, my answer to that question would be, do you think all cops would have run into that fire and saved those children? I don't think so. I don't think
No.
so. I think it takes a special individual, regardless of whether or not they're a cop or not. Usually when you're a first responder, and I was trained as a first responder, the
Right,
first thing
don't
they
forget
teach you,
that.
the first thing they teach you as a first responder is your safety comes first. You can't do any good for anybody else if you go into a dangerous situation and get yourself
Mm-hmm.
killed. So your safety comes first. So that person going into that fire into a place that could be detrimental to themselves is not something that every cop would do. And case in point, look at Uvalde in Texas, where they just stood around and let those kids get slaughtered the way they did. Those cops were bad cops. Every single one of them should be prosecuted and be on death row, as far as I'm concerned. They're just as guilty as murder as the shooter was. But there are cops that have gone into school shooting situations and things like that. So it's a character flaw that it has to do with what kind of character that person has in order to put themselves on in danger to do things. Because a lot can be said about what I did in the military. I was a medic in the army. I could choose, depending on the situation, whether or not it was safe for me to go out and pull somebody back into safety so I can treat them medically, or I could choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's actually up to me in a lot of situations. So it depends on your character, I think.
Good point. Everybody have good points in the chat. Just remember that once somebody beat you up the first time, it's hard to forgive the cop. It's hard, you know.
Oh no, I wouldn't. No, I agree with that. I
I
agree
would
with that.
never trust a cop. If a cop beat me up, kick me
No.
like this, I won't trust the cops anymore.
Now, if I was holding a knife or a gun at the cop and threatening the cop, yeah, I expect to get my ass kicked. But if other than that, at least to get myself under control and they arrest me, and after that, they shouldn't be kicking on me after that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But but too many times we see cops doing those types of things, and I've
Hmm.
seen it 100,000 times already. And
That's what
those
some people
kinds of
get to cops. You know.
Yeah, and those situations, in my opinion, the only people, in my opinion, that should be holding them responsible are their fellow police officers, because they're really the only ones that can do it.
You
They're
know who I
really the only
trust
ones
the
that can do it.
most? The
Do what?
sheriff.
Trust yourself, you said?
No, sheriff.
Oh, sheriff?
Yes. There
Huh?
are more. Some sort of people that are more understanding. They listen
Yeah,
more than the cop does.
right. Well, I mean, I think it depends on the sheriff.
Hmm.
You know, it depends on the sheriff. I don't know. I think each individual should be judged on their own accord and not by a
To me,
group.
it's a lack of training. It depends the police station who trained them. You know, it goes for the lack of training. They don't have enough training. That's why you have uh, that's why you have at least 2 years to become a police officer. You know, not like a fucking 6 weeks. I heard. You know, a year
Right.
or
Hold
2 years.
on.
It's better like that. You know, cops they need to be trained for two years, not freaking 6 weeks. 6 weeks you don't know nothing. You know, even doctors takes 5 7 years. Even dentists take 5 7 years. You know. If a cop beat up other person, that's to take the badge away and go back to training. That's my opinion. You know.
I think when it comes to all groups of people, you cannot paint it, with some exceptions throughout history, right?
Yeah, true.
Um, you can't paint all in a group as good or bad.
Hmm.
I don't believe that's fair. I don't think that's ever fair, because you don't know everybody, and you don't know what everybody's done, and you don't know what everybody hasn't done. You don't know. So you can't say all of this is bad and all of this is good. Just because there's been rotten eggs on occasion doesn't mean that every single egg is rotten. It means that some eggs are rotten and some eggs
True.
aren't. I just don't think you can do that. Call me crazy.
Hmm.
Maybe I am. Actually, I know I am. But I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can paint every cop with that brush.
I think cop. To me, you think cop will be nice all the time? No. Will police be changed? No. It's going to be like this forever and ever and ever. You know. It
Well,
depends the cop.
Gregory, how about this? Are you nice all the time?
No. I
No,
could be a jerk sometimes.
exactly. Exactly my point.
Yeah, I don't like that, but you know.
But you can be, right?
Yes.
Right. And you can be great too sometimes, right? You can be a
Yes,
great
exactly.
person,
Yes, yes. Yeah,
and
it
you can
goes
also
both ways.
be
Yes.
a person that you would not be proud of, right?
Yes. If I if I'm an asshole, I feel like shit. For my language. You know?
Right. Right. So
I feel bad. I really do.
I
You
think
know?
that's it. We can all be different on different days, different situations. We've all done things that we're not proud of, and we've done things that we're very proud of.
Hi
You
Jane.
know what I mean?
Good
We're all human beings in the
good
end.
point, Mitch. Mitch says I'm nice, Ted, I'm not. Yeah, true. Because we're not perfect. Everybody's not perfect. You know?
Yeah. I just don't think you can paint an entire group into a corner like that. I just don't believe you can.
I understand what Black Destiny Friend and Father comes. I understand, you know?
Right, right. I understand that too. I understand. Not everybody's experience is the same.
No, in front. I think the cops don't have enough training. That's what it is. They train so fast.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of lack of
Yeah.
training and personality
Mhm.
flaws.
But you can't train. You can't train a cop to be a good cop if he's already a bad cop.
Well,
You
no, you
can't.
can't
You
train a
can't
bad
retrain. You
person.
can't. You can't retrain stupidity.
Well,
That's
that's what I'm
like
saying. You can't train a bad person to be a good cop, but can you train a good person to be a good cop?
that'll never happen because of that blue line bullshit.
No, I'm asking, do you think that a good person can be a good cop just on face value?
Not if they no.
If they're a good person, you don't think they can be a good cop.
Nope.
Why is that?
Absolutely not.
Why would you say that?
Look at what look at the system that they're in, okay?
Right.
And you tell me,
But does that mean that they're bad or the system's bad?
well, you tell me. Since you know
I'm not saying that I know
you back
anything.
the
I'm
blue,
asking you
so
I'm asking you what your opinion is.
I don't back the blue.
I didn't say
I
that you
can
did.
get
I
two
said I just asked a simple
I can
question.
get two shits what they do. Only thing
Right.
I do is I make sure that they don't violate people's rights like they have been doing in for the
Right,
past
but the discussion
100 years,
why are cops
120 years.
mean, right?
See, I look at it this way. I used to be able to say that we don't have, well, some of us don't have
No.
blood on our hands. Bless you, Greg. Um, we don't have blood on our hands, but white people do.
Right.
So
Wait. What did you say now?
we don't have blood on our hands. In other words, we don't kill innocent, unarmed people of color with guns and nightsticks. We don't do that.
But
I,
who does
I
again? Did you say?
white people do.
Oh, we're gonna have that discussion again. That all white people are racist. I thought we agreed that all white people weren't racist. We already agreed on that. I thought.
And I thought we was talking about cops. You asked
We
me
Yeah.
are,
what I
but
thought.
you're saying that. But what you said was
He meant
What I said
white
white
was
cops.
people,
I said, quote, we don't have blood on our hands.
right? And who's we?
We as black people in the community.
Right. And then who has blood on their hands?
Come on, man. You know
You said it. I didn't say it. You
I'm
said
not
it.
gonna play your game, dude.
Guys,
What games?
let me phrase that. Okay, guys, hold on. All the cops, all the color cops beating up people. I see public language. Black cop beating up black cops, the person.
Right.
I see white
I've seen
cop
it
beating up
coming
white
from
cops.
exactly.
You know, it goes through all. I see all where I see all racism cops beating all the way racism. It's not only white people. I see black cop beat a black cop, white cop beat a white cop. You know,
Right. But see, here's the
it's
thing.
all over them.
Here's the thing.
News, you
And
know.
we've had this discussion before, and I don't care to have the whole thing over again, but we had this discussion before where Black National Freedom Fighters said that every single one of a person that is born with Caucasian colored skin is automatically a racist. Okay. That's what he said. So that's where he's coming from by saying this, just so you know, to make it clear. Am I wrong, National Freedom Fighter? Because I don't want to be wrong. That's what you said, right?
That's what I said.
That is what you said. Okay, there you go. Don't want to put words in your mouth or anything. And so by you saying what you said is there are no black cops. I'm just trying to understand what you said. That's all. So you're saying that there are no black cops that have ever wrongfully killed another black man or woman.
I did not say that.
You didn't. So you're saying only white cops have blood on their hands, but a black cop does it. They don't have any blood on their hands. I'm just trying to.
I'm just going back through history here.
I'm just trying to
Let's see.
clarify it. That's
Let's
all. I'm
talk
just
about.
trying to.
Okay, well, let's talk about this here.
I'm just
Let's
trying to
talk
clarify
about
what you said, though. That's all.
let's talk about back in the late 40s or 50s when the slave owners were beat up
We're not talking
on.
about slave owners. We're talking
Yeah,
about
we're
the
not
cops.
talking exactly. I was about
Hold
to say
on,
that, Greg, but I wanted you to say it.
let me finish my sentence here. The slave owners, they beat up on black people. KKK, they hung black people.
Right.
They they traded in some of them. They
And I've
traded
never
in
done any of that.
their white. Excuse me. They traded in their white cloths
Right.
or their white whatever they want to call it for a blue uniform.
Right. And I've never done that.
Who? I'm not talking about you.
I'm
I'm just
white. I'm
saying.
white. You said
I'm
all
just
white
why are you putting yourself in this situation?
because you
I'm
said
just
all white people. So I'm one of. If you say all white people, I'm a white person.
okay. Well, all right. Well, listen. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make myself clear. Okay. I believe that all white people are, and here we go again. All white people have blood on their hands. I don't. I've never killed anybody. I've never.
Can I
I've
ask you a
never.
question? Who
I've
sold
never
black people
slashed
into slavery in
anybody.
the
I've
first place?
never.
Who sold black people into slavery in the first place? And that's a historical fact. Who did that?
White people did.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You need to read your history. There were people.
No.
There were people in that. There were black tribes in Africa that would round up the slaves, if you want to call them that, or the people in Africa, the civilians there, and they sold them into slavery to the white traders. And slavery, by the way, still goes on in Africa to this day. Also in
Yeah.
Haiti.
So does it in the United States of America.
And
So
we're talking about black slave owners owning other black people in Haiti and in Africa. Don't believe me? I've been to Africa. So are you telling me those people don't have blood on their hands?
What I'm telling you is I'm talking about the United States. I'm not talking about Africa. I have no clue what goes on in Africa.
Well, obviously you don't, because they sold the slaves to the Americans that took them over
That's
here,
what.
and the
No,
British.
no. No, I have a comment. Wasn't there a black cop involved with Floyd? Yes, it was. Yep.
Yes, there were. Those weren't
Yeah.
all white cops. There was, as a matter of fact, there was an Asian, I believe.
Hmm.
There was
Yeah.
a I think I can't remember everybody,
It
but
was
I think
Asia, a,
I
a
think
black
Hispanic
person,
maybe too.
and white Hispanic. Yeah, beat up Floyd. Beat up
Right.
him.
Right. So was there any blood on the black cop's hand involved in that? Or was he just innocent?
Uh,
Was the black cop innocent in that when George Floyd got killed and he was there too doing the same thing? Was he innocent?
No, there was no black cop at George Floyd
Oh,
thing. I
really?
live here in Minnesota.
Let
I
me ask you
know.
this. Let me ask you this. Trayvon Martin. Who killed Trayvon Martin? A white man or a Hispanic man?
I can't remember exactly.
Zimmerman was a Hispanic man, but you know how many times I've heard that he was a white guy? Lots of times. Lots of times. You know how many
Okay,
black cops
well,
have killed? You know how many black cops have killed innocent white people? Lots of times. You know how many black cops have killed innocent black people? Lots of times.
Oh shit!
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me
Of course not.
that there are no black cops without blood on their hands. We all, if you want to lump me in because you have, and say that I have blood on my hands because somebody else did something that I've never had anything to do with, you say that I have blood on my hands. I don't understand that line of thinking. I just don't.
Mitch says, here make a good point. I'm black and I got black on my hands.
Yeah, Mitch, I don't know what exactly your crime is, but you've done something. I remember you saying you maybe stabbed somebody, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but yeah, has he? I mean, Mitch is black. Ask Mitch. Mitch, are all white people racist? Because I've actually seen black people that you could call racist. I have.
Yeah, okay.
What do you
Well,
call somebody who
anyway,
say?
hey, listen, Greg, thank you for having me up, man. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. I'm not gonna play into this game today, man.
What
I'm
game?
just
I'm
not
just having a
even.
conversation, man. I'm just having a conversation. You're having a conversation. I'm just asking a question. But when you're wrong, you leave the conversation.
Okay, let's go
That's how
back
it
to
works.
the cop. I see cops and with black people.
Right.
Anyways, you know?
Right. Hate doesn't have a color.
No. It's not, it doesn't matter what color you are. You
No,
know?
it doesn't. No,
It
I
doesn't
agree.
matter anymore. Back then it did in the 30, 40, but now it's all different now. You know, it's all different.
I'm
All,
not saying that racism still exists today.
oh yes, I know.
Right. It does
did, yeah.
exist. That's undeniable.
But you gotta realize that the cops, part of the cop is racism too. Part of the cops. Cops beat up the old people too. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as a matter of fact, Gregory, let me see here. Let me bring up something. Let me look at something up. I just gotta look at something.
I know this topic is very, very hurt, but people gotta know that because it's that I don't have a problem with cops because cops never beat me up or nothing. I have cops that's nice, you know. If a cop beat me up, then I would take a different story, you know. You know. That's why I was asking those people because I bet you everyone in the chat room have experienced bad cops. Maybe 80% of the chat, or maybe 90% of the chat. You know, have bad experiences.
Wait, hold on. I'm bringing
And
up a
I bet
case.
you some of them have good experience with the police. 50-50, you know? That's my
Right.
opinion, you know? And you know what's making me sick? I don't like cops when they arrest kids under 12 years put handcuffs. To me, that's a bad cop. You know? I would never forgive that. You know?
Okay, here you go. Here's the I was looking up the George Floyd case to see what the race of each cop was, okay? So you have Derek, who was a white American, 44, Derek Chauvin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an Asian American.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name is Tu Thao or something like that. And then you have a black African American. His name was Jay Alexander and Thomas Lane, both African American involved in the killing of George Floyd. So I guess their hands are squeaky clean, aren't they?
But maybe Back in his father didn't see that video, probably,
Uh,
or the news, you know?
oh, we brought it up. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people doesn't realize, you know? A
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people doesn't watch news, or a lot of people that realize that,
Just
you
putting
know?
that out there.
I understand your point. It's like, look at the facts, and, it's like, a lot of people doesn't watch the news, A lot of people think, oh, white cops are bad, black cops are bad or
Um,
good,
one
you
more
know?
thing. One more. Remember, Tyree Nichols? Tyree Nichols. Remember that?
Or the truck driver.
Right. Tyree
Yeah,
Nichols
yeah, the
was
truck
shot
driver,
to death.
like for American Africans beating him up.
African 5 actually, because I'm looking at
Yeah,
him right
5
now.
years.
Hmm. But they have no blood on their hands, right?
But we're
That's
not discussing that. We're
no,
discussing
no.
police.
What
Yeah,
bad
yes,
cops is what we're
exactly. I
discussing.
know what you mean.
But I'm
Yes,
just trying to
yes,
bring my point home. That way
yes.
I can wrap it up.
That would be a good topic next time.
Right, absolutely.
That would be a good topic next time.
But I think people are bad or good depending. It doesn't matter what their race. There are just as many bad white people as there are black people, as there are Asians, as there are cops, as there are firefighters, as there are any group of people.
And that's
Teachers.
let me address the chat. Okay, you think the training got to do with the cops, bad training? You think 6 months is enough, or 2 years of training of a cop? Give me
Um,
one, 6 months, or two. Give me for 2 years. I heard it was 6 months they have training.
I think cops should be trained just like they do in the military.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
You go away and you do like a basic training type
Mm-hmm.
of thing, and you have physical standards and
Mm-hmm.
academic standards that you have to meet,
Like they did before, like they did in the 60s and 70s, like they did
right?
many, many years ago.
You go away and do that, and then you go through an advanced training, which is what you
Okay,
do
you guys,
whatever your
and
specialty
Mitch,
is going to be.
back in the 60s and 70s, the cops had good training. But now the cops are worse than back in the 70s and 80s. At
Yeah,
least
because
they
it's
have
done
good
at
training.
it's done at a little 2-year college, community college kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people doesn't know that.
yeah.
You know? They have to go back to history and see, wait a minute, what's going on, Because because people doesn't want to train the cops for 6 months or for 2 years because cuts fucking money. It cuts the money,
But at the same time, like I said before, if you're an asshole before you go into the police academy, you're still going to be an asshole after you graduate the police academy.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Manny. It's a type of training. That's what I'm trying to explain. I said 6 months is not good. They have to have 2 years or 4 years experience to become a cop.
I
That's
didn't say military training. I didn't say military training. I said training to be a police officer, not military training. I'm saying a more intensive training where they're in a place that there's no distractions and
Mhm,
they're there for the purpose of learning how to
mhm.
properly be a police officer. I'm not saying military training.
I know. Basic, I know. He, yeah.
I never
Like
said military training.
the Sarah have 2 years, 2 years training. The Sarah, 2 years. You know, my
I'm
nephew was
not
going to be
saying
a Sarah.
I'm not saying boot camp at all. I'm saying they go to a like you would go away to any other training that's important, and you go and you take immersed in it versus, and I would argue that you learn more basic training than you do as a police officer going through the police academy. I believe you're at least I believe that's true. You at least you're immersed into it. I mean, that shit kind of
You know
um
what they should do? They should hire somebody from the military or the army to train the cops. That's my opinion. Hire somebody from the military.
I didn't say military training at all, Lauren. I didn't say it at all.
No.
All I said was properly trained as a police officer,
Mhm.
not as a soldier, not as a Marine, not as a sailor, not as a Coast Guard or a Guardian, Coast Guard or a Guardian, a police officer in the proper ways, whatever that
Okay.
proper way
Let me,
happens to be.
let me refer to that. Okay. Okay. Let's vote on this. Okay. Number one, do you think a military officer is better to train the police officer? One,
No,
yes. Two, no. No.
no, because they're two different things.
All two different things.
Yeah, police, military, law enforcement. I didn't say we're talking about what should happen, not what is happening. We're saying what should happen.
Okay.
I agree, Ajot. I agree with that. Absolutely.
But the
That's
problem is they're not giving proper money for the training.
right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right. I agree. I agree. But if you look at our budget right now, we're like $7 trillion in debt. I mean, we don't have a pot to piss in. As if this was, if we were, if the government were actual people, we would be below poverty and not ever to be able to recover from the financial problems that our government has right now. I mean, every bit of money that they spend is not even there.
To get. I wish cops gather. I wish cops stop. I wish cops are being nice to people. It will never happen. I wish they have good training. Yes. I want to train more. You know, it will be less. It will be less crime, but it won't be perfect. It will be like maybe 50,
Nothing's ever going to be
55%.
perfect.
I don't know, be like 55% below average. If they
Yeah,
have
nothing's
good
ever going to be
training.
perfect.
I know
You
that.
can't. Yeah, anytime you put people in something, you can't expect perfection. That's just the nature of being a person. You can do your best to do your
Mm-hmm.
best,
2 years.
but I really think that it should be more of an immersive experience where they're taught things like the Constitution. They're
Mm-hmm.
taught about what people's rights are when it comes to those kinds of things. It's the military. The reason why I brought up military is because the stuff that I was taught in the military long, long, long time ago still stays with me today. I remember it like it happened yesterday. It was the type of instruction that they gave us, the way
Good point.
we
Hey, Jack.
breathed it, we lived it every single day, and it stayed with me all these years.
Hey, Tat, Agent, make a point. Anyone who says define the police is not smart in my option. However, the money needs to be used better for the training.
I never said
Exactly. That's my point.
why do police need MRAP? I'll tell you why, veterans. Because the people, a lot of times, the people that they go up against have really strong weapons that outgun the police. I mean, in certain situations, I mean, maybe that's a necessary piece of equipment. I don't know. I'm not a cop, but I'm just saying that it's possible when you're dealing with terrorists, which is a very good possibility since our southern border is wide open right now. An MRAP may not be a bad option for certain situations. I mean, just like a helicopter, they use helicopters. They use all kinds of things. I mean, why do they even use weapons? I mean, the military has guns, but they still use guns. I mean, they use police dogs, canines. They use shit. They use a lot of things the military uses. I don't know. I think each situation is different, depending on the situation. It depends on the type of equipment needed
Mm-hmm.
for whatever situation it might be. I mean, it's not like we haven't been attacked by terrorists. I mean, you don't think what happened in Gaza could happen here? It could definitely happen here. Probably even more so. But I don't think militarizing the police is the answer. What I think is better training
Mm-hmm.
is the answer.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But also a bigger screening requirement. See, that's what I mean by military. Even to get into the military is a challenge. I mean, I couldn't believe how many people didn't even make it past the first physical of
Mm-hmm.
going into the military, let alone the ASVAB and all of the other things that you have to jump through in order to just even qualify to even consider you to go in the military.
Look,
Cops have none of that.
look at some
Hardly.
audits. Audits goes to the police academy and tell them you guys need better training. Some audits goes on there and they try to address them. You need better training. That auditors goes on there and try to tell the people in charge you need better training. They don't even listen. You know? You know what I mean? It always go the top people, you know? It's sad, you know?
Yeah, Greg. I sorry, I had a phone call.
Yeah, yeah. I need to know the Constitution too.
Yeah, yeah.
What's up, Mr. Longhair?
I never, but just to put this out there, I never said they need to be trained like the military. I said they need to be in that type of environment where
Mm-hmm.
they are immersed in the environment, in the training environment, so they can have this shit stick in their head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They need to have physical fitness standards. Police officers all should have annual physical fitness tests, just like the
Mm-hmm.
military does. I mean, how many cops do you see could probably they barely can take 5 steps without getting winded, let alone chase down somebody who needs to be chased down. I mean, for God's sakes, a lot of them are walking heart attacks.
Oh yes, I see that a lot I see that on the audits channel. We
Yeah,
have to.
they need to have physical standards.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be tested regularly.
And they need to be 100% healthy.
Now, yeah,
Oh,
and I don't know how. I've never been a police officer. Maybe I should look into it. But do police officers? I know they go to the range to qualify on their weapons and things like that. But do they have any academic tests that they have to pass yearly or every 2 years or whatever? I don't know, but they should have to, in my opinion, to make maybe a test on constitutional rights every year or every 6 months or however long the test should be as a part to recertify it to continue being a police officer.
I tried to go into the army or the Marines. They told me I can't because of my health, because I have seizures and
Right,
have asthma.
right,
Yeah, because they said if you don't have both seizures or asthma, we will let you in. But seizures is very dangerous.
right.
It's
But
not
I
like
think
it's not that I'm being mean. They're looking them into themselves because it's a health issues.
right. And mental evaluations, you're right, West Side. That's the same thing. And I'll tell you one thing that the military training does do when it comes to some of the things that they do is they push you to your limits in some ways so they can weed out those people who do have those personality, if you want to call them flaws, that don't fit the bill of someone who can actually do the job of a soldier. And I'm not saying turning police officers into soldiers is the answer. What I'm saying is people that I'm not sure what you're talking about, Lauren. Honestly, I don't know what you're saying. I am a veteran myself, Lauren, just to put that out there, but I don't know what you're even talking about. I think that the police should be held to similar standards. You know, similar standards, not actual standards like the military has, but similar standards. Who said military men are yes men? I
Oh, don't
mean,
believe what the government said.
no. What I'm saying, well, when it comes to that, I would say that you can use that argument about any job, any job. You have to be a yes man in any job, or no man, or whatever. There are. That's kind of laughable in my opinion. Being in the military is just about like being in almost any job in a lot of
Mexico
ways.
is coming up.
You do have to be, you do have to do the thing that I mean, you have to do certain things. If you want to be a soldier, you have to do it. You have to want to be a Marine, you have to eat crowns. Those kinds of things. You know, want to be a soldier, you can't be as brave as a Marine. You know, want to be a sailor, you gotta love swabbing the deck. I don't know. Shine the poop deck. Yep, there you go.
Hey, brother,
So,
what's up?
what's going on, guys?
Not
You guys are
much.
having an
Oh, not
interest.
much.
You guys are having a conversation right up my alley here.
We're having all kinds of
Yeah.
conversations, man. We've talked about we're going to solve the world hunger pretty soon.
No, you made some good points, Tats, but I think it all starts with hiring. Hiring is the bedrock of a solid police force, and we don't have that in almost any police force in this country at all. And I've proven it beyond a shadow of a doubt in Aurora, Colorado. Um, they hired a guy. I mean, this hiring process is just janky, anyways. But they hired a guy that they let cheat on his entrance exam, and beyond that, they said they caught him, and they brought him in, and they said, "Oh, well, we know you cheated on your entrance exam, but we're short-staffed, so we're gonna let you through."
Oh, that should
Oh
And
never
my
happen.
God.
yeah, and guess what? The guy was involved in an officer involved shooting, got suspended, and while he was suspended, beat the shit out of an elderly woman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually they let him go, but he should have never been hired in the fucking first place.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I mean by having the same kinds of standards. It's just to get in the military and being a police officer. They should be very similar as far as how picky they are, because things like that happen. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
Right. And I slightly disagree with you a little bit, Tats. I don't believe that the police force should have any type of military equipment. We are one of the few countries in the world that allows
Well, can you
our
tell me any type of military equipment? Well, like what?
those like Humvees that they got that they buy from the military. Their
Okay.
tactical gear looks like exactly like a military unit would. They're not military at
I'm talking
all.
about functionality. I'm not talking about the looks of something. If they have something that they need functional wise, then they should have it. But if they don't need it, and I agree with you, they should not look like the military because they're not in the military. But functionality wise, if they need the equipment for a certain task,
But
whatever that
what
task
task
is,
would they like? The SWAT team is as close to the military as they have,
Right,
and
right,
they don't need. I mean, they have the different weaponry. Beyond that,
right.
what kind of vehicles do they need? Do they need all that those Humvee type?
Well, let me ask you this: how do they approach a scene in let's just say, just throw a scenario out there. It's in an open field. Okay, let's say,
Uh-huh.
not that this was a good situation, but this is a good example of that. Not saying that the police were right, because I don't believe they were, but let's just say Waco, Texas. Right? You got the
Right.
compound. You got a wide open area. That's all the way around. You got active shooters in a building. You need to get close to that building. You got people getting fired upon in an open field with no cover. What are you going to use to get there?
Well, okay, that is a why. That's on
Not
an
saying,
end
no,
of the
I'm not,
spectrum.
but it happens.
It did happen.
And it happens in other cases too, where they're in a house and they're shooting at the cops from the house, and the yard is wide open. There's very little cover. How do you get them up to that door?
Those okay. So here's my response to that. There are people within the SWAT unit that are very skilled, and most of them are former military. Would you agree with that?
Right? But
Usually,
that doesn't mean I can dodge a bullet. I was
no,
military.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can dodge bullets, but those people are very skilled with weapons and how to snipe people from great distances, much more
Right.
than what the people at Waco were skilled in doing. Those people were
Right.
not skilled. They just had a lot of weapons.
Right.
Right,
But what I'm
right.
telling you is,
So
not all
why would you need to
situation
get
is a
close?
sniper,
Why would you need to get close?
because not all situations not a sniper. Sometimes you have not all situations a sniper. They can take sporadic fire, and then the person goes back in the house and could be killing hostages. Let's say that they're actively shooting somebody right now, and they have another person covering them in case somebody approaches.
Well, and here's another thing. Cops are cowards, all right? I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Look at Uvalde, look at even going way back to Columbine. That
Right.
was close to here. All right? These people are absolute cowards. They have no clue how to handle any of those situations, no matter how many training sessions that they've had for active shooters or anything of that magnitude. So why are we relying on this police force that doesn't know what to do in
Well,
those
what's your
situations?
suggestion then?
Well, my suggestion is start over. Start the
And
fuck over.
how do you do that?
Wipe them all out and start over. Let's start
So
over.
how do you do that?
Well, we
So
defund
all of
them
a
for
sudden there's
one.
no, wait. Now all of a sudden, okay, we're going to talk realistic here now. So
Right.
all of a sudden we have no police force at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you're
Okay, so
we're
how do you do
jumping
it?
the gun. We have to decommission some of the worst ones first, right?
And who are
So I'm
those?
talking like the LA Sheriff's Department. I'm talking about Aurora
Okay.
Police Department,
Two.
who
So
do nothing for the
LA,
people.
so LA has no police department at this point in time,
LA
right?
Sheriffs. I said LA Sheriffs, not
Well, they
police
have no
department.
sheriff's department then.
Right. They have no sheriff's department, which is
Okay.
worthless anyways.
Okay.
They're an act. They've actually been proven to be an actual gang.
Well, no, I
With
get all that. I'm just saying, how
right.
are you going to that?
So
I'm talking
okay.
about
So hold on.
logistics here.
Let me finish here. So once you get rid of, you target and you get rid of those type of police forces, right? And you start over. You immediately start the hiring process. You
Right.
change the hiring process,
What do you do in the
right?
meanwhile, though?
What do you mean? Meanwhile, you still have
There
the
has to be
LAPD.
an that's not always enough. If there was enough, they wouldn't have the sheriff's department.
Well, what does the sheriff department really do but terrorize the people over there in
Shit, I
LA?
don't know. I'm
They
not
don't
in
do
L. I
anything.
don't live in L.A.
Well, I'm telling you, they don't do anything. So not having them is an option. Look at what they did in Camden, New Jersey, right? They had a police force and they got rid of. Did everything fall apart there? No. As a matter of fact, crime actually lowered. There was less crime with no police force in Cambridge, New Jersey, than there was with a police force.
And how big is Cambridge, New Jersey? I don't know.
Not that big. Not that big.
Right. So you're
Right.
talking a population of about what?
I, I, I'm not a historian to tell
Well,
you
I'm just
that, but
curious. And when did that happen?
this was probably 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Right.
saying the solution is not always with the police force.
Right.
The police, you can, like, okay, so here in Aurora, Colorado, right? They tried something. They tried giving police officers an extra $8,000 because they were having such a quote shortage of police officers, right? They were losing police officers, and they gave those. Every officer got an $8,000 just bonus check, free. Here you go. Here's $8,000, right?
Right.
Which is another problem. Their compensation needs to be looked at too, because a lot of them are way overpaid, way
Right.
overpaid.
But here's what I think. I think that not every solution is just one idea. There has to be multiple approaches to a
I
situation
agree.
like this.
I agree with that. But here's another little thing. Speaking of you know money, um, you have officers making 100. There was an officer. I think he was making 130, almost $140,000. He was a sergeant to sit at a desk with about. He was there for 10 years to sit at a
Right.
desk. Do we need to pay somebody $140,000 to sit at a
No,
desk?
absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely not. Right. So I
20
think we need to
grand,
look.
25 grand.
And here's another thing. Police work used to be some of the most dangerous work that you could get in this country, right? It's no
Right.
longer that dangerous because of qualified immunity, which luckily in Colorado they don't
Oh,
have
I believe that
anymore.
should be eliminated.
Right, absolutely. Qualified immunity should be gone countrywide, right?
Right.
So that's another thing that we could do to kind of help the situation a little bit better. Also, we need, and if we get rid of qualified immunity,
But
if
I
they
think that's a
violate,
big piece of the puzzle, to be
that
honest
is
with
a
you.
big piece of the puzzle. If we are able to sue the cops individually for rights violations, then and not the insurance or any of that type of stuff, if we can go after the cop directly and attach yourself to their pensions, I think you'd see a lot less bullshit with the
Right.
cops.
And I agree with that 100%. But
Yeah.
I don't think the answer is eliminating everybody all at once, because if you do that, then the idiots are going to come to bear down on. I mean, it's not going to happen everywhere all the
But you're
time.
you're making an assumption there, Tats. Like
I am making
I
an
don't
assumption.
think.
But look at Detroit. Look at a lot of these places that are now having way more smash and grab crimes because of the laws that have changed in Chirac and in Chicago, where they don't even worry about arresting people for certain things now because
You
you
know,
don't.
New York used to be one of the worst, right? It's speaking of smashes and grabs and
Right,
stop and frisk and all those bullshit things that they used to do in New York, and they laxed a lot of those laws, right? They got rid
right,
of the stop and frisk. They they were a little more, how do I say, like humane to people,
right.
and you show a little bit of humanity and crime goes down, and now New York is actually one of the safer cities to go to.
Right, right. And I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is from what I see people doing things that they didn't do before because of certain laws that have been changed that need to be revisited. Because there are certain businesses that no longer want to do business in those places. Like, for instance, Chicago. Chicago is out of control. They have some of the strictest gun laws and the strictest anti cop laws on the books. But it is one of the worst
Anti-cop laws, I'd
places.
like to see those anti-cop laws.
Well, more restrictive is what I mean, on law enforcement than almost any place in the country. And look at the state of that place. We're
you
not.
know
We're They're not doing a very good job now, are they?
Police across the United States aren't doing a very good job.
Right. But
Right.
when you put restrictions that aren't necessary, then you have problems like Chicago. When you give them when you hold cops accountable for doing bad things, yes, you should. Should cops be punished just like a regular person for speeding, for doing all these little other things?
Right.
Yes, they should.
Right.
Should they lose their qualified immunity? Yes, they should. They should be treated like any other person
I
on
guarantee
any
if
other day.
I agree. I would take it one step further, Tats. I would I would make the penalties harsher for cops. So if a cop is caught speeding, the fine is doubled, right?
Right.
Because
I agree with that. That's no
they're
problem there. Yeah.
they're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
know the law better than
I
us,
agree with
right?
that. Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
not
I
it,
agree with that.
that's simply not true, and that goes back to the hiring I told you about, Tats. The hiring needs to change. The training needs to change. And the penalties need to be more severe for cops.
I agree with that.
Because if you're in a position of power and also in a position of trust, that position of trust should be held to a higher standard than anything else.
Right.
And this goes for politicians too.
No, I
Politicians get
agree. Oh,
away
yeah.
politicians get away with way too much,
Don't get me
right?
started on that one, baby.
Yeah, I don't want to get started on that. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the thing. Like we think that cops are well, not we in general, but people in general, right? People in general hold cops as heroes, right? They're the biggest heroes in the United
I
States.
don't believe that at all.
We need, well, it's true. We have more bootlickers in
No,
this
no, I'm
country than
saying
we
I'm
do.
saying that they are not heroes, is what I'm
Right.
saying. Not
They are not heroes for the most part. There are individual instances of cops that actually did heroic acts,
right.
and you could debate whether or not those people are heroes or not, but the vast majority hide behind that badge.
Oh, I agree. I
You
agree
know,
with that.
I'll give you an example. I was out on the streets of Denver, and there was a cop that had shot into a crowd of people and injured 5 people, and he's on suspension now. Before that encounter, I had encountered that same cop, right? And I made the point: this guy's going to get killed someday because of the way he treated me and my friend K Dot, right?
Right.
Simply for filming them with a
Right.
camera, no other weapons. I'm filming, right? Trying to
Right.
hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. Like there you guys mentioned mental health. That's a great point. There needs to be mental health evaluations probably every 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, I
and in
agree.
the instance of like, if a cop was involved in a shooting or some traumatic event happened, it's just an automatic visit to the shrink. You know
Right.
what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot to be done here, and you know what the real problem with the police force is? It is with the officers, but it's even more so with the unions because the unions protect those officers no matter what.
Well, I
They
think
can,
that's with any profession, actually. The cops, big time, because that
Yeah.
is what they do. But almost any profession, unions, in my opinion, are not a good thing.
well, I think they're good for the people.
Just
They're
to get
not
rid of
good
the
in the
unions.
face of the
But the police
government.
It depends. It depends on how much pull that union has with the government and how they manipulate the government for their own
Yeah, and we've seen it
purposes.
time and time again in police forces.
Right.
I can only speak from personal experience here in the Denver metro area, but it's super bad here, and I
Right.
know it's bad everywhere else. I mean, you see, how many times have you seen? Oh, we investigated ourselves and we found nothing wrong,
Oh yeah, that happens all
over
the
and
time.
over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
that should
know,
be an independent civilian side of thing. That should not even have
absolutely
anything to do with the police.
right. And they shouldn't be bankrolled by the police. They shouldn't be
No,
bankrolled by the
not even close.
government. You
No.
know, none of that because you have biases once
But at
you're
the same time,
connected.
even if that did happen, I think you would still have biases because that's just human nature.
Yeah, that's true too. But that there again, the hiring,
Right.
right? Who are you hiring to do this job? Are you hiring somebody that's just and is going to do the right thing every single time? Or are you going to hire somebody that turns his cheek because he gets a kickback from the
Well,
union
there
or
you
whatever?
go. But there you go. You have now somebody that has power, right? And when you have power, what comes next? Corruption.
You're right, right.
So
With
if
power comes corruption. Exactly.
right, so then it's still. I don't think there is a perfect solution. I think I think when you have a group of people who are now going to have power over the police departments because of their decisions on their behavior and so on and so forth, you're talking about some of the most powerful people in a community.
Well, you know what? Then maybe those should be elected positions by the people for the people,
That's where I
right?
was going. That's where I was going.
Right. And then at any given time, the people can a certain percentage of people can call in a vote to disband and start over. You guys aren't doing your job. This is, these are the reasons why,
Right.
and we need to start over again. We need more people with better ideas, and also term limits. Term limits for
Oh, I think
politicians should
term
have been a
limits
thing.
across the board.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I actually I even think that should happen with cops. I don't think you should be a cop for more than 10 years.
I think the Supreme Court should have term limits as well.
100%. 100% the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Supreme Court should have limits.
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, yeah, you got people up there that's too much power, in my opinion. A lifetime appointment, that's too much power, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. It's not there isn't any one solution, but the solutions that need to be had, at least as stopgap measures that we've discussed. There needs to be no qualified immunity, which luckily Colorado doesn't. Nobody's really challenged it that much here, but it's starting. You're starting to see more and more cases like that. But yeah, you've got to start with the hiring process, the training. Obviously, you got to hire the right people. You got to train them the right way, and then I think 10 years and your service is done. Let's move on to some new fresh people that are excited to be in here, because that's a lot of times the biggest problem that I see with the police force is longevity tends to make those people kind of drunk with the power that they've had for however many years that they've been on the force, whether it be
Right.
15, 20, 30, sometimes 40 years.
Like I said, power comes power comes corruption. I mean, that's just a normal human condition, in my opinion. I mean, almost in any aspect of life. That's just how a lot of things are, and that's why I believe government to be a necessary evil. But then again, there's the word again, evil. um,
Yeah. And it
there's
doesn't
there's
it doesn't have to be that way, man. I hate the fact in this country we have a two-party system. I mean, I think
right,
it's gross. I think it's
right,
just gross. We're already divided 50-50. You have to either be a Democrat or a Republican in
pretty
order to
much,
have
yeah,
your voice heard. And that's
right.
just fucking ridiculous.
Right, but I don't know how you get around that, honestly, until people start pulling their heads out of their asses. Is
Yeah, it involves multiple parties, and we used to have multiple parties
Oh yeah,
in this
absolutely.
country, but
Right,
it just went by the wayside, and now we
right.
have two, and
Well,
it's
then
never gonna work.
your everyday person doesn't have a chance in hell in
Right.
getting certain offices anymore. It
Yeah, and
used to be
right.
more your average Joe Blow could run for president and actually have kind of a chance.
Yep,
Uh,
100%. If you don't have the money to back you, you're going nowhere.
right,
Period.
right.
You know.
Yeah. So, but by the way, I have to point something out to some of the people that we were having conversations with before. This is how we have a discussion, ladies and gentlemen, without choking each other out verbally. It's okay to disagree on certain points, but we don't have to be enemies about anything. And
Yeah, Tats,
I
you've been on the YouTube streets for a little while. You know
of
exactly
course,
how that goes, man.
but I'm just telling you, this is what is wrong with our country, though, is what I'm trying to point out.
Right.
Is two people that may not agree, because we don't agree on everything, I can already tell, but we don't hate each other. We're not
No.
at each
No.
other's throat. I don't consider him to be my enemy. He doesn't consider me to be his enemy.
Right. Right.
But the problem is
Right.
nowadays it's either all or nothing, and that's terrible
Hmm.
Right.
in our country.
Right. Right. Well, it was an interesting discussion, Tats. I
Yeah,
agree
and I
on
appreciate it, man.
most everything that you said. I got to run here
Yeah,
actually.
man. Yeah, great
Gotta be
talking to you,
driving.
bud.
But
Anytime.
you guys in chat have a great one. Later,
Yeah,
everybody.
man. Yeah,
Thank you.
great to talk to you, man.
Thank you for coming up.
Your scalpel is performing good surgery. I don't know what that means. Sounds psycho there, C4T. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing over there in your basement with this damn scalpel?
Okay, I, I'm going to ask one. Okay, it's going to be a different. I'm going to change the things. I'm going to think. I'm going to change the
Now
things.
you're changing things. Uh-oh,
Okay.
you're gonna confuse me.
Okay, my second channel. I don't have no watch hours. How do you get watch hours fast? I mean, really fast.
You make good videos.
Normally, can I pay 24 hours? Like somebody
Make
told me I could
make
pay. I could
make
pay
funny
out.
cat make funny cat videos. I don't know. I don't know. There's no good answer in my opinion, other than just making good content for people to watch. And shit, I try my best, but I still think my content sucks. I'm one of my
Mm,
biggest critics.
maybe I'm gonna do it 24 hours.
I'll tell you a good way to get watch hours. I've been seeing a lot of channels do this. Not that you're interested in it or anything, but to live stream this war in Gaza. My God, those people are getting tons of watch hours. I've been noticing that. Holy shit. Just live streaming a news event such as that. Man, those guys are raking it in hand over fist. And I think they got to
Mm,
pay. I think they got to pay though for the rights to use some of those cameras that are overlooking that area right now. I think that's what I've heard. But stuff like that, I mean, that's a gimme, I guess. I don't know. It depends on what your topic is and what you're gonna do. You gotta really think these kinds of things out. I think you got to think about
no,
what you're
once I
gonna
get
talk about.
freaking like about 500 people, then or 520, then I'm gonna start doing my topics. You
Right,
know?
right. But like I said, like I suggested to you earlier, picking a topic that may be currently in the news may be a good idea. You know what I mean? Like instead of just pulling topics out of your butt, look at what's going on in the news and maybe say, okay, this will be my topic today. And what do you guys think about it? That kind of thing. Maybe that's an idea. I don't know. Just
Okay,
throwing them
guys,
out there.
in my second channel, please, if you guys want to step my second channel, please do.
Well,
It's
put your link down there,
I,
Greg, so we know.
I already did. It's
Where is it?
called Big G with the capital G 1970. It's at Big G with the capital 1970.
Big G 1970. Oh,
Yep.
there it is. There it is. Look at this.
Very
Wait.
easy to remember.
Oh, you already got 75 subscribers. I can't do it, Gregor. I can't. I'm supposed to be subscriber number 1. By the way,
Right?
I'm already subscribed. Just putting that
Oh
out there.
no, okay.
So I'm one of your originals. I'm one of your original recipes, Gregory. You better
The
treat
reason
me
why I
good.
changed my name, it was confused both cameramen, you know? Like the
Yeah.
first channel, my main one, I just add the cameraman 1970 in the end. Not easy to find than Ed Gregory. You know what I mean? It's not easier to find Ed Gregory, the came 1970 camera. It's more easier to find it, you know?
Greg, C4T, what are you talking about over here? What's that smile where they cut you ear to ear? Lord. Okay, Joker. Getting some deep stuff. Deep, dark stuff.
Or maybe I might go back on my lives and go accept people, you know?
Gregory, can I just mention one thing real quick?
What?
Because I got to leave here in a second. But
Let me do.
by the way, Gregory, let me just tell you, man, I think for the most part, that was a great topic and everybody stayed pretty good and everybody liked it, I think. What do you think? I think it was a good topic. And you did a very good job at keeping people where you needed them to be. I think you did a great job at that. So just throwing that out there. But also, can I mention his name one time, Gregory? Please.
Yeah, okay.
Fraud at Wrangler deleted almost every one of his lives except for 7 videos. So if you don't think what I'm doing is working, it is. It's working. He deleted almost every video that he ever made a false military claim on. If you don't believe me, look at his lives and you'll see. He only has 7 videos out of he had I think he had 600 videos or something crazy like that.
Wow.
Yeah, he deleted every one of them except for 7. Just putting that out there. Now I can't take full credit for it, but that's what's happened. But anyway,
Okay,
Greg, I'm
guys.
gonna drop down, man. Thanks for
Okay.
having me up, buddy. And
No problem.
you know, if you ever need help picking a topic or something, but I think my suggestion of the newspaper is a good idea.
Mhm.
You know, or news organization, whatever one you want. It could be about puppy grooming or something like that. It doesn't have
You
to
know what
always
I'm going to
be.
do right now? I'm going to post a poll to see what topics.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. And
Yeah,
also, I'll tell you another one, Gregory. And I thought about doing this for my channel. Is what did you think about my last video poll? Was it good? Do you think it should be better? You know, that kind of thing. Did you like it or did you not like it? And
you
that way
mean
you
the
get an
last
idea.
the video you made today?
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to be honest?
it sucked.
Your voice, please use a voice. Your voice sucks.
Oh, shut up.
No, serious. Serious. It's better when you use a. Okay, guys. Number one, is a voice better? Number one, or Tat's voice number two?
Hey, look, my voice is smooth as a baby's bottom.
What's up, biscuits and gravy?
I was told so
Gravy,
many
what's up?
times. Don't use a voice changer. Don't use a voice changer. Don't use a voice changer. Now you're telling me to use the voice changer.
Yes.
Man,
Everyone likes the voice changer.
Hey, where are you at?
Because you
people.
know why? You only have 10 people.
If I go back to using my voice changer, people are going to tell me stop using the voice changer.
No,
If I start
you got
using the
more
voice
people
changer, people are
coming
going to.
in. Today you have only 10.
Gregory, the minute I open my mouth, I know 50% of people disagree with me.
All right.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do just because you said that, Gregory. I'm going to use a minion voice changer to where I sound like a minion,
Mm-hmm.
like a chipmunk. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a voice changer that sounds like you. I'm going to do the Gregory voice changer.
Okay.
All right, Greg. I'll see you, man.
Okay, guys. You take it easy. Thank you, Jeff, for coming in. Peace out. I got work tonight. I'll be there tomorrow for more singing. God bless you. Take care, everybody. And hallelujah. Goodbye.